Welcome back to Man on a Beach. I'm here with Norman at Selsey Bill. Norman, what does the beach mean to you?
A working beach.
So this is fishing over the years, is it?
Yeah, 53. I used to go with my father before I left school for a while in the spring to row and what, because you couldn't use an engine out here, you had to row. And when the stronger the wind in the spring, the more prawns we used to catch. And then after that, they've been about 6 weeks, they vanish. They go off back into deeper water again. And you get them again, not in here so much, but down out further, as you get them again in the fall.
So what are these boys bringing in today?
Same, wilks, crabs, lobsters, all sorts of stuff. That's the better work and the wilks. That's the better working of it.
So did fishermen used to sail in the olden days?
Yes. The big boats used to carry a pair of oars and sails. And my father's big boat, she's 28-foot ship's life boat. She had a Kelvin anti-billy engine in her, and she had petrol paraffin. So in the morning, when you're cold morning, you had to go off, fill the little tin, old tobacco tin, and fill the carburetor, screw it all down, start her up. If you think she was warm enough, turn the paraffin on. If you wouldn't fire, you had to do it all over again till you got the engine warm before she ready to kick in with the paraffin. I remember a chap coming in delivering it to the house where we lived in a can like the old milk we used to use and pour it in a 45-gallon drum. I don't know how long it took to take 45 gallons, how long it took to use it. I was only about 10-year-old then at the time. Then after about 1948, my grandfather and my father, they decided to build a smaller boat, about 18 foot, and they built it in my grandfather's shed in the garden, and then I used to crawl underneath, and when my father used to drill it, push the nail up through, hold the hammer on it while my father roofed it inside. And that was hard work, laying underneath the boat, covered in sawdust, and that was it. Took a winter, just over a winter to do it, and got the timber from a place in Emsworth where the Hermitage water comes down, and there's a great big pond each side the road, and all the timber was stored in there. It's to be seasoned. My father had about 7 planks, I think it was, trees, about 3 foot wide, about 20 foot long, split up into planks, and it was stored. Each plank had a bit of wood between it to let the air go through it. And in the winter, when they started it, well, in the fall, about 1949, I think it was 49, winter 48, 49, the big planks in the garden were laying in the weather, the ends split like that, and it come to there good because it helped them to cut the plank into the curve all the time. And she was a beautiful sea boat. And my father used 102 seagull, and he was the first fisherman to bring a seagull into Selsey. Then a couple of years later, he bought another one, so he always had a spare to take to sea the next day. Each engine was put back in the hut when they come home from the sea. The big boat was put on moorings, and that was it.
So over the years, the changes in the beach are quite profound here. You're very much in the weather, aren't you?
Well, I can remember the beach was no groins at all. Around the West Beach after the war, from the Bill to Chillister Harbour, there was all the anti-tank traps, plus all the invasion blocks that was along here. My father's hut was out there somewhere, close to that beacon, when I was a nipper. And well, in 1953, had a very bad gale of wind that flooded all inland here. This was all underwater, and a couple of fishermen tried to come down that night, and lucky they didn't, because they tried to walk across the field with 6 inches of water running across, and they couldn't have a job to stand up. just like a river. And they decided to go home. Lucky they did, because all the huts were smashed. The beach was, well, beach was level. Buried all their gear, all the stuff that floated, went up here and the back here against the bank, and all the big boats went up Beach Road.
Does the weather ever bring shingle onto the beach, or is it always taking it here?
It always works east. Always works east. No matter what you do, it'll always work east. And sometimes in the winter, well, years ago, the fishermen never fished in the winter. It's only this modern stuff, since they come up, the West Country boats come up here, from Selcom and that, and they fished it, and well, that was the beginning of the end. As they showed us, some of these chaps, they couldn't make a lobster pot. We used to sit down in the winter and make our own lobster pots out of a withy. And that was, we used to get them round Selsey and round about the farms. And in the end, the farmers didn't want us to cut them, and we used to buy them. I used to buy mine from Somerset, already graded into bundles, 6 foot, 7 foot, whichever size you wanted. But I always had 4 foot and 7 foot to make the lobster pots. That's what we used to do in the winter. Plus a job ashore as well. You had to get a job, because you couldn't live off of what you earned through the summer. And that's it.
Has the catch changed
Yes.
in those 50 odd years?
Yes, very much, very lot. We never used to catch big lobsters then. They were the breeding stock. When these West Country boats come over here with a 9-inch entrance, they were catching lobsters 7, 8, 9 pound, and taking all the hens that were buried. They used to scrub them out and sell them as well. See, that's your breeding stock. I caught the biggest one I ever caught was 9.5 pounds. Got lobster. He was a young lobster, must have just shed his shell. And I've never seen a lobster so perfect in all my life. It's what we call a red pincher cock. His pinchers was reddish. And that's it.
And this is the management of the stock that you've got, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like lobster, they reckon some of the real big ones be up to 50-year-old. But they don't live that long now, because they're caught too quick. But the measure, if the measure come in the proper way, from a 9-inch measure to what it is now on the carapace, see, the 9-inch measure is from his horn to the tip of his tail, the middle fin of his tail.
Well, thanks a lot. Take it easy. Cheerio.
Yep. All right then.
Bye.
Bye.